Guru. The Guru is not a body. Guru is not a mind. Guru is the non-dual self. Guru is the one without the second. Guru is within you. Guru is without you. Guru is in you. Guru is outside you. When I say in you, it is with respect to body. So you are respecting that principle in you, which is Guru principle, Guru Tattva. That is called Atma. That's called Paramatma, one who is everywhere. So Guru Purnima is a remembrance of our true nature, which is actually the proclamation of all spiritual texts of India or anywhere in the world, if you really understand the deeper meaning of religions of any world, anything in the world. You are not different from that supreme reality. The one who is seeing through your eyes is that Paramatma. You start thinking that you are thinking, seeing. The one who is hearing through your ears is Paramatma. One who is smelling through your nose is Paramatma. One who is tasting through your tongue is Paramatma. And you start thinking that I am doing this, I am tasting, I am thinking. That ego is what has to be dropped to attain that Purnatva. The infinite is your nature. Celebration of the infinite nature of ours is Guru Purnima. On the day of Guru Purnima, we honor, respect Sadguru, a realized master, one who has attained that state of non-duality. Guru Purnima is the day where we recognize the Atma Guru in us. The Guru, Sadguru is not different, no different from your Atma Guru. Sadguru is there only to make you remember your Atma Guru. When you remember, when you realize the Atma Guru in you, the job of the external master ends. At that point, you have attained oneness with the master, Guru. The all spiritual sadhana, the spiritual sadhana practice is to experience the oneness with the Guru in the form of Atma Guru. And when that happens, the wisdom flowers in you. Whatever you speak becomes the scripture. What you talk becomes Upanishad. And beauty of human life is this state of oneness. This state of realization is available to each and every person. This is the birthright of every person. To realize Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Mana, Buddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandātma, Shivananunane, Shivoham,
शिवोऽहम्
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 we offer to the God, Guru, fruits, flowers, maybe kanika, offering. The moment you offers to the Guru what you call as your own, you are free. What you call as your own, okay, there is nothing which is your own. Nothing belongs to you. You keep on claiming this is me, this is mine, this is mine. Everything is false. Nothing belongs to you. Nothing belongs to you. Everything is a part of Prakriti, manifestation of the material nature, Prakriti. You cannot claim that it is yours. You cannot claim your body is yours. You cannot claim your mind is yours. You cannot claim intellect is yours. But still you keep on continue to say, have a feeling that this is mine. The moment you realize that nothing belongs to you, you are free. That is called mukti. The freedom from something which doesn't belong to you is called mukti.
I was waiting for that.
That happens only after the death, because he will not know.
No, even at death it doesn't happen.
No, what happens when the person who goes for the cremation, he sees that even the whatever lungi or whatever is covered is also removed before lighting the fire.
That is other people see, but for that person it is not
He
ended.
will not know.
Okay, for even that person who is dying, he will go with the ignorance that something belongs to him. That's why he takes another birth.
Another birth.
Okay, so that ignorance can go only when you are alive. The ignorance can go only when you have good sound body and mind. Okay, it doesn't go after you die. So that concept of mukti after death is false. Mukti after death is true for your wife or husband. Okay, other people say mukti siktapa, you got liberated from this person, but the person who has gone, still there is no mukti. He will keep on going in another cycle because he has still the concept that something belongs to him. Okay, and that is what is to be offered to get this Purnatva. Okay, and one who has attained that is Sadguru. One who has attained that normally becomes a saint, Santa. Okay, a Santa, a saint, has different connotations. Many people consider a saint is somebody who can make miracles, who can do some miracles. Okay, that is a typical understanding of saint. A real saint is one who brings peace and love to you in his presence. What are these small miracles? Some gold jewelry, some amount of some promotion. Okay, these are not miracles. Real miracle is to bring the change in the human heart. To bring peace to somebody is miracle. A saint, people feel that peace in the presence of a saint. That is the miracle done by a saint. If the saint is able to teach others, okay, able to bring about the same what he is experiencing in him, in others through his teachings, such a person is called Sadguru. Sadguru is greater than a saint. Sadguru is greater than a God. Okay? Because you cannot recognize God without Sadguru. Sadguru is greater than God. Now, when you say Sadguru, don't confuse that with the body, mind of an individual. The body, mind of individual is important because that body, mind has got purified so that the message from the Sadguru is brought to you with less corruption. A person who is realized his body is useful to the society because that body and mind is purified through sadhana, in the fire of sadhana. The truth of consciousness comes to the world through that body and mind complex in a pure, undiluted form. That's why Sadguru is represented in physical form. But physical form is not Sadguru. Physical form is only the delivery mechanism of Sadguru. It is the vehicle through which the consciousness speaks to the world. The vehicle through which consciousness communicates to the world is the physical body. And we respect Sadguru on this day because the wisdom can only be realized through the words and teachings of a realized person. There are many scriptures. The more you read scriptures, the more confused you get. Okay? Because the scriptures, no doubt, contain the words of realized souls. But the words of a realized soul is like a words of a person with the eyes to a person without the eyes, a blind person. So whatever you tell to the blind person, he is bound to mistake. There is somebody who can handhold you and take you on the path of spiritual journey is called Sadguru, the spiritual master. It is great fortune to have a spiritual master in your life. In the modern day, people don't understand that importance of that. The spiritual master, out of his pure compassion and love, holds the hand of the disciple and takes him to a stage where the disciple is no different from the master. In the world, there is no relationship where somebody who gives you the power to become himself or better than you, better than him. A boss always wants subordinate to be a subordinate so that he can earn more from you. A husband wants a wife to be obedient to him. All the relationship in the world, there is a hierarchy which is constantly maintained. The hierarchy doesn't collapse. Only in the relationship of a Sadguru and a disciple, the Guru is the most happy person the day you become him, he becomes you. That is what Sadguru is. There is a concept called Parasamani, a jewel in the mystical language. That Parasamani, if it touches anything, it becomes gold. Okay. Touch the chair becomes gold. Touch the spoon becomes gold. But Parasamani creates only gold. Guru is like a Parasamani. What he touches doesn't become gold, it becomes another Parasamani. Whoever gets the grace of the Guru becomes the Guru himself, representation of Guru himself. That is the sign of a true Sadguru. The words of wisdom flow through the disciple exactly in the same way the master spoke, not because he remembered everything, but because master only speaks to the disciple. That is what Sadguru is. And everybody else is a guru who is able to teach. Guru gives the information, Sadguru brings the transformation. That is the difference between Guru and Sadguru. So we are actually on this day. I remember all my masters who have been responsible for what I am today. I had yoga teacher called Shanai, who taught me yoga for disciplining the body and mind. I had one unknown guru whom I have never met, only met for briefly for 3 hours early in the morning, Brahmi Muhurtam, when I was in 9th standard, who taught me Kundalini Yoga, who came, taught, and I never met. I don't even know the name. I am grateful to Amritanandamayi, the great divine incarnation. I am grateful to Ajja, realized master, who taught me the Atma Vichara, the self-inquiry. But for the masters, I am not what I am today. It's an occasion to offer gratitude to the spiritual master in your life. Unlike other teaching, the spiritual teaching has to come through the realized master only. You may read millions of times Aham Brahmasmi. You may read millions of times Tattvamasi. You may read millions of times Upanishads and Vedanta. All those will bear fruit only when the master delivers the truth to you. That's why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, what one says does not matter, but who says the matter. You are going in this Rajarajeshwari Nagar and you say, so what is this city? A lot of potholes in the road. Nothing happens. After 10 years also it will be like that. But one day the Prime Minister of India comes here and he looks at the pothole. Next day the whole roads will be covered with tar. The difference between you and the Prime Minister is the power which he has. The difference between the ordinary Guru who brings teachings of the scripture versus Sadguru is the power of consciousness, the power of conviction, the clarity which he brings because of his inner experience. That gives you the conviction that this is the truth. Sadguru gives the life to the scriptures. The scriptures become alive in the presence of a realized master. In reality, all scriptures are nothing but teaching of Sadguru's one point of time or other. What Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa spoke becomes Ramakrishna Upanishad. That itself becomes Upanishad. Because it is not the body mind speaking, but the pure consciousness speaking through that body mind. So somebody one day, Vivekananda asked him, who are you to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, one who was Rama and one who was Krishna, that I am Ramakrishna. Now those people who don't understand the significance of this, they get confused. They think Rama has taken incarnation as Ramakrishna and Krishna has taken incarnation as Ramakrishna. Rama and Krishna has become two incarnations, they become one incarnation. We miss the word. one who has become Rama and one who has become Krishna, that I am. Who is that one who has become Rama? Paramatma has taken the role of Rama. Paramatma has taken the role of Krishna. And Paramatma who has taken the role of Ramakrishna Paramamsa. The one who has become is Paramatma. And the great thing about your life is the same one who became Rama, who became Krishna, who became Ramakrishna, also has become you. The difference between those people and you is they know the Paramatma operates through their body-mind complex. You always confuse the small little ego as operating the body-mind complex. That is all the difference. Otherwise, there is no difference from the great beings and you are. We are grateful to the tradition of spiritual teachings in India, which we don't know, it was 10,000 years, 15,000 years, 20,000 years. People have been seeking truth. What can uplift you, what can liberate you, what can bring the peace and love in your life. That search has been going on in India for thousands of years. And this search was done by Rishis. When I say Rishi, Rishis are the scientists, the spiritual scientists. They did the discovery and they didn't hide the truth. The moment they discovered the truth, they shared the truth with other people. They didn't feel jealous that by getting the truth, you will become better than them. And they shared the truth. There is a story of Sri Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya was given Om Namo Narayanaya mantra by his master. Then his master told him, don't tell this mantra to anybody. Then Ramanujacharya asked, what is the importance of this mantra? His guru told, whoever chants this mantra goes to the Vaikunta. So then what will happen if I chant this, tell this mantra to somebody, then you will go to hell. Okay? Because the mantra has to be learnt from a guru. You can learn the mantras through cassettes, tape records, all those things. But the learning of the mantra from guru has the power of the consciousness in it. So if you teach the mantra, then you will go to hell. The first thing Ramanujacharya did, he ran to the top of the mountain or top of a place in the city center and started chanting mantra. People gathered around him. Everybody started and he said, please chant this mantra. This is the key for Vaikunta. And people started chanting. His guru got wild with him. Why did you chant the mantra? He said, if I go to hell and so many people go to Vaikunta, it's worth it. That is the compassion of this master. And this compassion has made the truth to be passed from generation to generation, generation to generation, generation to generation to the present generation. That is actually Guru Parampara. One who discovers the truth, he doesn't hide it, he shares with the people so that the society gets benefited. And this is what Guru Parampara is about. The moment you discover anything on science and technology, first thing is you put a patent, you hide it and try to get a maximum out of it. The moment a person realizes the truth, the first thing he does is shares the truth. That's what Buddha did. 40 years of his life he taught continuously. He was a king, he was an emperor. He didn't have to do any work. But after enlightenment, from morning 8 o'clock to night 9 o'clock, continuously traveled around the country, teaching. That is the compassion. Guru Purnima is the day to remember the compassion of these masters. Please tell me, what is there for them to teach? They have attained the highest. Nothing is required. They don't have to, they can just be idle. Okay, relax somewhere. But they spend their whole life trying to teach the truth. That is out of pure love and compassion. Guru Purnima is the day we respect the spiritual masters whose wisdom has brought peace to millions of people worldwide. Otherwise, human beings are nothing but animals in the garb of human dress. The teaching Buddha has passed away 2500 years back. Christ has gone 2000 years back. Vedavyas has gone about 5000 years back. But whatever they have taught becomes an inspiration, guidance for the people come in the future generation. They are the source of light of wisdom. And that wisdom is called Atmadana. To know yourself is the greatest service you can do to yourself and greatest service you can do to society. Because the moment you realize yourself, one nuisance to the society will go down. At least you. one ಭೂಭಾರ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, so Krishna is said as avatar. Okay, Bhubhara Uttarnaya anta you have heard of that, no? He has come there to reduce the burden of the earth. Okay, so we start thinking that all the demons comes Chanura, then Mushtikasura, then Jarasandha, they are burdens. They were very few kgs, maybe 100 kg, 50 kg, 150 kg. The burden on the earth is the human beings who live in ignorance of their self, Atmadana. Okay? And when the human beings are don't have the Atmadana, they become egoistic, they create tremendous suffering for themselves and for the others. So Krishna did Bhubara Uttarana. But if you think that did the Bhubara Uttarana by killing Kamsa and all, you are mistaken. He did Bhubara Uttarana by teaching Bhagavad Gita. Even today, it kills the Kamsa in you. That is really Bhubara Uttarana. And who is Bhubara? The ego in you is the real Bhara. So that has to be dropped. So this is actually, Guru Purnima is the day offering our respect to masters who dedicated their life to teach the wisdom. No expectation of any returns, no expectation of any kind. Simply they dedicated and offered their life to the society. It's a remembrance of the masters today. That is Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is the day for respecting the tradition of Gurus, Guru Parampara. When we say Guru Parampara, it is one realized being lighting the lamp of another realized being. So that light of wisdom doesn't blow out. That's why I say Jyota se Jyota jagao. The light of enlightenment has to burn. It has to light from one heart to another heart. So that light of wisdom should not die. So that is Guru Purnima, the continuous tradition of handing off the light from one generation to another generation. That's what I am doing. What my masters handed over to me, I am passing on to you. The light is in your hand. So that light up your life and light up others' life. Don't burn anybody with your ego. Okay? Become the light yourself. So that is Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is the day we offer our respect to this whole great tradition. We commit ourselves to bring that light, Atma Jyoti, in our life. Guru Purnima is the day we bring that Atma Jyoti to other people who need it. That commitment is Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is the day we commit ourselves to study what masters have taught and pass on the teaching to next generation or those who need it. That is Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is the day, it's also called Vyasa Purnima, because Veda Vyasa Maharshi codified all the Vedas and made it available to us in these dark ages. The last few centuries have been dark, totally dark, full of people who have body consciousness, who have destroyed everything what is possible as spirituality and religion. It is the foresight, it is the wisdom, it is the intuition of Vedavyasa Maharshi which has preserved this light and passed on from generation to generation. So we bow down to Vedavyasa Maharshi on this occasion. So this is Guru Purnima. We bow down to another tradition which is actually a master-disciple tradition. The learning from a master is a great opportunity. Very few people have that great opportunity. People can learn through books. Books are not alive. People can learn from a teacher who repeats like a parrot from the book, but he is a parrot. To get a master who is the book, whose the life is book, who speaks the truth of his life, the one who speaks the teachings of the scriptures, one who brings scriptures alive. Such a person to have a master is a great opportunity. The master has not a single iota of selfishness. If he has, he is not a master. The master has not a single iota of ego sense in him. If he has, then he is not a master. When the screens of the ego are removed, the wisdom gets communicated from consciousness directly to the listener, to the recipient. This is what is called Guru Shishya Parampara. Great was the tradition when the disciple had such a reverence and love for the master, because that was recognized as the most important aspect of human life, to have a realized master in life. That was a time in India when the disciple used to come and bow down to the master and take the wisdom. There was a time in India when master used to bring the disciple, shout at him and teach wisdom. The times have come when master has to bow down to disciple to teach the wisdom. That is the state of ignorance we are in. So this is Kali Yuga. But it's a great opportunity to learn, to imbibe the wisdom of Atmadhan in our life, to become free, totally free from the mind and attain mukti. And that is possible only with human life. So Guru Purnima is the day for respecting the Gurus, the Sadguru, the spiritual masters, the Guru Parampara, the relationship between the master and the disciple. Only this relationship is the purest possible relationship. Every other relationship is tainted. Husband has a love for the wife because he gets a physical comfort and needs are taken care by the wife. There is something in return expected. Wife loves the husband because there is some expectation. Parents love the child because the child is theirs. A master loves the servant because he earns the money for him. A shepherd loves the sheep because if he kills it, he gets a lot of money, fat. All the love in the universe is corrupted and tainted by the desire. Only a truly realized master is free from the egoistic sense, and he only radiates pure love and compassion. And the disciple, even though has desires, even though he has ego, by surrendering to the master, by listening to the master, by doing service, he imbibes the qualities in the master. This relationship, disciple, one who expects something from the master other than Atmadnana, still is actually corrupted love. A disciple who seeks the Atmadnana from the master has a pure love, because master is no other than his own self. Sadguru is nothing but Atmaguru. That relationship is the highest symbol of pure love. And what greater thing which you can give to that pure love other than a moon? After all, we give honey, a moon, during honeymoon, right? As a symbol of love, right? So the disciples offer the master the moon as Guru Purnima on that day, because moon symbolizes the mind, full moon symbolizes the fullness of the mind, full moon symbols love. So that is Guru Purnima. Any questions? Any questions? So we'll sing some bhajans.
गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। प्राणनाथ तुम्ही, हृदयनाथ तुम्ही, प्राणनाथ तुम्ही, हृदयनाथ तुम्ही, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही भक्ति हो, तुम ही मुक्ति हो, तुम ही भक्ति हो, तुम ही मुक्ति हो, तुम ही शक्ति हो मेरे सांब शिवा, तुम ही शक्ति हो मेरे सांब शिवा। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही प्रेरणा, तुम ही साधना, तुम ही प्रेरणा, तुम ही साधना, तुम ही आराधना मेरे भोले शिवा, तुम ही आराधना मेरे भोले शिवा। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही प्रेम हो, तुम ही करुणा हो, तुम ही प्रेम हो, तुम ही करुणा हो, तुम ही मोक्ष हो मेरे सांब शिवा, तुम ही मोक्ष हो हृदयनाथ तुम्ही, प्राणनाथ तुम्ही, हृदयनाथ तुम्ही। तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम,
तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम।
तुम ही प्रेम परम गोपी जीवन,
तुम ही प्रेम परम गोपी जीवन।
तुम ही श्री कृष्ण मेरे सावरिया,
तुम ही श्री कृष्ण मेरे सावरिया।
प्राणनाथ तुम ही, हृदयनाथ तुम ही,
प्राणनाथ तुम ही, हृदयनाथ तुम ही।
तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम,
तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम।
गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा,
गुरु माता पिता गुरु बंधु सखा।
तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम,
तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम।
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 आत्म गुरु परमात्म गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु। 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 सद्गुरु हरि गोपाल गुरु शिव सदा शिवा परमेश्वर गुरु। सद्गुरु हरि गोपाल गुरु शिव सदा शिवा परमेश्वर गुरु। पतित पावन नाम गुरु, पतित पावन नाम गुरु। प्राणनाथ गुरु, प्राणनाथ गुरु, प्राणनाथ गुरु, प्राणनाथ गुरु। आत्म गुरु परमात्म गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु। आत्म गुरु परमात्म गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु। सर्वसंग परित्यागी गुरु, सर्वसंग परित्यागी गुरु। सर्वांतर्यामी गोविंद गुरु, सर्वांतर्यामी गोविंद गुरु। सुकृत पुण्य प्रदात गुरु, सुकृत पुण्य प्रदात गुरु। सुकृत पुण्य प्रदात गुरु, सुकृत पुण्य प्रदात गुरु। दीन रक्ष गुरु, दीन रक्ष गुरु। आत्मगुरु आत्मगुरु परमात्मगुरु परमानंदाय गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु परमानंदाय गुरु ओम 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 गुरु
ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಉಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ?
ಅಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ತನು ಕರಗದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಜ್ಜನವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಮನ ಕರಗದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಷ್ಪವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ತನು ಕರಗದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಜ್ಜನವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಮನ ಕರಗದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪುಷ್ಪವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಹದುಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಗಂಧಾಕ್ಷತೆಯನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಧೂಪವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಧೂಪವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಅರಿವು ಕಂದೆರೆಯದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರತಿಯನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಅರಿವು ಕಂದೆರೆಯದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರತಿಯನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ತ್ರಿಕರಣ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ತ್ರಿಕರಣ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ನೈವೇದ್ಯವನೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಪರಿಣಾಮಿಗಳಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಇರಲೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಹೃದಯ ಕಮಲ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಹೃದಯ ಕಮಲ ಶುದ್ಧವಿಲ್ಲದವರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲೊಲ್ಲೆಯಯ್ಯ ನೀನು ಎನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನುಂಟೆಂದು ಎನ್ನ ಕರಸ್ಥಲವ ನಿಂಬುಗೊಂಡೆ ಎನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನುಂಟೆಂದು ಎನ್ನ ಕರಸ್ಥಲವ ನಿಂಬುಗೊಂಡೆ ಕೇಳ ಮನ